It's a company in Quebec. So yeah, I'm not sure where you're from, but I live here in Hamilton, Ontario. Um, so not far from where Malik was. But yes, Aquarium Direct is a place in Quebec. um, so yeah, lots of good dry goods. I've done an order with them before, and I was really happy with it. And now my other camera is frozen. Ah, mother. Okay, now we're good. So audio's still good. Got this camera working, and we got the other one working. Yes, Mike, I will feed the plecos right now. So in this tank here, we got some bushy nose plecos. I don't remember the L number. They're pretty well just your commons, but these guys here actually came from some albino parents. And the spotting on these browns is quite nice. So we got a male in the tube. Well, in a minute they should come out so you guys can see them a little bit better. At least I hope so. If not, I will have to figure that out. Some really nice spottings on these guys. I'm not sure how well it's picking up with the camera, but this guy's got almost a bit of an orange to a yellow look to him. And I think he's got eggs as well. I haven't actually looked in there today. Oh yeah, tons of babies. Sure, it's probably not showing up at all. See if we can get it closer. Yeah, so he's got some fully formed babies in there. Good size ones too. And we also got some we also have some long fin super red plecos in here as well. These guys are actually the more the calico variety of super reds. Yeah, all my tanks are bare bottom. I really do it more as a breeding setup than a show setup. So what I'm going to do is, since Mike has seen videos of my fish room, and if you want to see a proper tour of all my tanks, I did a video not too long ago now, but I think it's still probably about a few months now. But you know, it's got all the tanks. But what I'll try and do here with on the camera on the arm is give you a bit of an overview, at least the best I can with this thing. So that was a 40-gallon breeder on the top. This is a 20-gallon below. We got some Blood Dragon peacocks in there. We got some OB fuel bornites that I've been growing out. And also my breeding group of Kubu Afras. In here we have the ribbon fin guppies, so the long fin guppies. And we have a breeding group of albino bushy nose. Those guys there were born on about March 10th, give or take. There's lots of them in there, so we'll feed these guys. As Mike says, feed the hungry plecos. It's like feeding hungry hippos. And of course, you feed the plecos, you got to feed the fish. So the way my fish room's set up, it actually runs at nighttime. So we're finally going back to tier of UC billing. So if you want to have the lower rates, you can actually have it set up to use that at nighttime when you're off the higher pricing. So before COVID, I had all my fish rooms set up that way. So it was all lights coming on at 7, first feeding at 7:30, and then pretty well all my tanks have auto feeders because obviously I'm not going to be up all night long. So they get fed about 4 times a night every tank with these auto feeders. So it allowed me a really good growth rate. I still have to feed the plecos manually. But there's enough food that goes in, and it's a fairly high vegetable content food that I use. Now, these guys actually are the original pair that spawned those brown bushy notes that you saw on the top with a nice pattern. In here it's a bit of a mix. We have a super red female. We have 2 gold males, so non-albino golds. Actually, there's 3. There's 3 3 gold male bushy nose plecos, non-albino, so they don't have the albino eyes. There is a female super red, and there is a female albino in there. And she's just right back in there. So that's the original parents. From these guys, as you saw, I mostly get a lot of browns. I also get some golds, but not really any super reds. But it's a nice mixture, and like I said, the patterns on it are quite nice. Like there's a couple of these browns there. They were from their spawn that I've just kept back. I got to take them to the store because the ones up top are originally the ones from there. That is my new breeding group up there. And then I got a bunch of babies in here from various dates, mostly super red plecos. I'll show you the super red adults in a minute. So a lot of browns from the pair I just showed you. Not very many albinos, mostly browns they produce, a few albinos. And then lots of super reds from the other ones. What are you guys saying there? Yeah, for zebra plecos, I agree. It'll be a little better for them. It looks a little bit nicer, definitely. Alright, I don't know if this is going to work on this tank. So this one here, this is the one of 2 tanks of super red bushy nose plecos, along with black Moscow full black guppies. got the other tank of super red bushy-nosed plecos, and then we got a group of Sturbe Cories in there. They're all mature now, so they actually did spawn in there once not too long ago. So once I can sell some plecos to the store and some other things, I'm going to start moving a whole whack of stuff around and give those guys their own tank. And then I got some green dragon plecos that I recently got from my friend of mine in Sarnia. Okay, my wife just had to come in and talk to me for a second there. I see Chloris, I'm new to the hobby. I, with a group of 7, added to my community tank 3 months ago. Reliably, yes, lowering the pH. Do you have to? It depends. A, depends on what exact type of Cory cats they are, where they came from, were they imports and from a wild source, or were they tank bred? So these Sturbes were actually purchased as juveniles from an auction in Sarnia about 2 years ago now. And these were actually babies of his, so these were born and raised in captivity. Would they spawn a little bit better in a lower pH? Yes. Do I have to? Not really. They've adapted to that and they were born in that. So, but it really just depends on where you're getting them from and things like that. But really nice and fat females in there. These guys here are what I call my pastel guppies. Nice thing about them is the females actually have a lot of color. They may not show up too well on the camera. That one there, especially if you do a top-down look, it's got a lot of nice color to it. Okay, I'm going to show off a couple tanks and then I'm going to do this dry goods unboxing. So these are a type of African cichlid from Lake Malawi. Gyphrochromis lawsoni. Now, what's in here that I have to really get out, I don't know how close I can get it, but there's a mature group of here of Synodontis petricolas. They are definitely a breeding size. I've never bred them before. From everybody I've talked to, they're definitely at the size, and they're had these guys for just about 2.5 years now, give or take. So they're going to get their own tank as well soon. And I already got the containers, the marbles, and all that ready to go. Because the petricolas are more of an egg scatterer. They're not cuckoo or parasitic catfish like the Synodontis multipunctatus are. Which will still breed without other fish, but generally more reliably they will breed when other fish are breeding. And they go in there and they'll eat the eggs of the fish that are spawning and then drop their own eggs. And sure enough, later on, a few weeks later, that, well, it's a few weeks for cichlids, but it's a lot faster with the catfish. They'll be fully formed in, I think it's about a week and a half to 2, give or take, depending on temperature and stuff, of course. And then it's full-size catfish come out and not actually the cichlids that were spawning. Hey, Big Tank Hank. Thanks for joining in. I'm a little bit still new to this live streaming here, so could definitely probably use some of your pointers at some point. So yeah, we're just showing around the fish room. Stream started really bad, had some audio issues, but pretty well I think we got it all pretty good now. If you hear a bit of a buzzing in the background, that's just the auto water change system kicking in. So we got our mixing valve up there with the red cap, hot and cold coming in. In the town that I live in here in Hamilton, Ontario, our water is not that great. We have really bad sediment levels, so I actually have a filter that's in the whole house that filters out all the sediment. And then we got 3 carbon filters. The reason why I have to run 3 is not just the fact that my chlorine levels are really high, but the city adds chloramine levels. Usually with chloramines, you're still going to get the actual chloramines at your house, but because of organic load and just the distance, even though I'm not that far from the plant, what's happening is it's starting to break down already. So we actually get about 2.5 parts per million of ammonia right out of the tap. And also still the high chlorine levels. So got a regular carbon block there in the first chamber, and then these ones are what's called chloramine blaster cartridges. They're a granulated carbon, where the other one's a solid block. The granulated ones actually will remove the ammonia. So I get 0 ammonia and 0 chlorines to all my tanks, water change twice a day using that system. Just because of my work schedule in general, I just don't have a lot of time, especially the family, to do reliable water changes. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're keeping fish, you got to give them the best water quality you can. It's all about water quality. It's not the only thing, but as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the most important things. And just regular, steady water quality, really low nitrates, and obviously no ammonia. So then it goes up, and we got a temperature gauge there, and then we got our 3 zones. Right now, it's going through zone 2, which just goes down the drain and just flushes some of the cold water out of the lines in the house. So that way, when it hits the tanks, we got about 80-degree water is what I got set to the mixing valve, going all the tanks. So it's got about a minute left, and then it's going to go quiet, and then you're going to hear zone 1 kick in. Oh, so that's done. Here comes zone 1, and then zone 1 goes up. And then it goes into this pipe up here, the 1-inch, yeah, the 1-inch PVC. And then I use these blue valves to get Aquatic Ecosystem, or I think it's now called Pentair Ecosystem in Florida. It's a blue plastic valve. I use that for my water, which is the white pipe again. And up top, the black pipe is my airline, so I use that for everything. They got a little rubber inside, but I use it for water and air and have absolutely no problems. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of a dry goods unboxing. Okay, so this is Aquarium Direct out of Quebec, Canada. This is where I get my brine shrimp eggs from. They're 90% hatch rate. Plus is what it says. I think I'm probably getting around at least close to a 95. I'm very happy with these eggs. The prices are actually quite well as well. Quite good as well. I also get my krill flake from there. Depending on the fish, like my guppies, they'll get a mixture between the krill flake and vegetable-based flake, usually spirulina. That's usually what I actually get from them as well, but I didn't need any, so I just got the krill and spirulina. But it's mostly krill. It's got a fairly high content of krill to it. And then with all the plecos that I have, I got a really big bag. It's 2.5 kilograms of spirulina algae disc. I've never used it before, so I thought I'd give it a try. The price was quite good for the amount that you get. They're pretty big wafers too. They're really thick. So I'll give them a try. What else we got? I wanted to try some of their egg flake. Because now I got these new angelfish, it's going to help condition them a little bit better. Even though I can give the adults some baby brine shrimp as well. But just to help condition them more, also probably for some of the cory cats as well. But I also do feed them when I'm breeding them live white worms that I have. And that's my cat knocking over stuff. Yeah, so Leah, it's not at RODI. It's actually just a filter system that gets all the chlorines out and ammonia out. Because I was saying it's quite high in our water, just so that way my auto water treatment system is not pumping chlorinated water and ammonia water to all the tanks. Alright, I got 2 of these already, and I really like them. I have absolutely no problems with them. Yeah, you can do it cheaper with many different ways. I've been doing this for over 20 years now, so I've done everything from pop bottles to all kinds of different devices. But you really do get what you pay for. It's a nice device. I got 2 of them already. I decided to get a 3rd one just so I can try and do twice a day hatches, especially on my days off. So I kind of need a 3rd one to do that. It's got the valve on the bottom, and then I think I'll show you guys in a minute how I mounted mine. I ended up getting another egg tumbler. This one's a little bit bigger than the one I already have, because I do breed a lot of Malawi cichlids as well. So I do have to sometimes strip some fish from their eggs. The eggs from the mouths or the fry from the mouth, depending. So, really like these. These are really good. I'm getting some new breeder boxes for my guppies. I've never had this style before. It's got the mesh on the left and the right. And so these are a circulation box. So you just hook it up to an airline and it'll pump water through them. There's their card. So there's a plug. Okay, so this is one of the breeding boxes I already have. So this one here is basically you put your females up in here, and then you have, this has actually got 4 cones at the bottom, and with the airflow through it and the mesh bottom on the bottom, it just pulls the baby straight through. And I've seen them actually being born, and they really do get gently pulled down through that before the females really snack on any, if any at all, really. So I have one, and I'm quite happy with it, so I got another one. Okay, the brine shrimp sieves. I already had some of these guys, but this one here is a larger one. So depending on what size do you want to sieve out. So if it's an older hatch, or you hatched out some and you give it a little bit higher salt water, and you want to actually get the larger size, like say for example, you want to grow up some brine shrimp to feed some adult fish that just don't really take well to the babies. That's what you can use this sieve for. They have 4 different sizes. Hold on. They got 4 different sizes, and I think this is the largest or the 3rd largest one. I also got another one here. Hold on, what's it got? Yeah, so that one there, that's their 4th largest size. And that one there is their 3rd largest size. And then next we have a cat in the box, because he always loves to come in here when I'm in here. So that's my cat, Iris. Iris, hey, smile. Yeah, you're on YouTube. You'll be famous now. Aquarium Direct Box Kitty. Yeah. And then the last thing I just got was just some airline suction cups. And that's it for that. Okay, so I'll put you guys on the tank, and then I'm going to show you how I mount up my Zist brine shrimp hatcheries. And oh yeah, make sure you always put your brine shrimp eggs right into the freezer before you forget. I'll make sure I get that at the side door in a second too. Okay. How easy does this just come right off? I'll try this. See, take this right off the stand. No. No, that does not come off that easy. How about this way? Okay. Just taking some old tape off here, just something I was doing a long time before experiment. I forgot to take off. Okay, so the overhead light is now off. So we got our little light on the bottom there for when we're collecting our eggs. So you would just take off your air and just allow it to settle for a few minutes. Everything gets drawn down to the light at the cone here. And then you just open up your valve and then just harvest away. So yeah, you can mount them on the stand. It's okay, but this is a much better way to do it. I mean, look, it's totally not level, just slightly, but yeah, it's mostly the camera angle. But yeah, I just basically just got a piece of wood, and just using that. I got pond liner in behind, so that way if I do any splashing or drippings, or if this valve ever fails, alright, if the valve ever fails, then I have a rubber here that goes straight to the sink. And yeah, so that's that. Okay, I'm just gonna get the camera. Actually, you know what? Before I get the camera back on the mount, since I got it off the arm here, why don't I give you guys a closer look at those plecos that we talked about in the beginning of the stream, and a nice close-up of the Philippine blue angelfish. It's a super red marble longfin. And this boy has got eggs. I'm going to try to see if I grab my phone to get a light on there, so you guys can see the babies. I'm going to have to get a little bit better, brighter light, but I didn't get a chance to check in the caves before I went live, so I didn't know he was, he had youngins in there. Fully formed, too. Okay, so there's more of the browns. Super red, they're super red calico longfins, but not all of them are going to have as much calico to them. A lot of them are more of a super red, just a little bit of blotching. This one's a really nice calico super red. And actually, since I got you off, we were trying to look at the black Moscow guppies earlier, which I actually can go a little bit longer here in a second. Alright, that's about as close as I can get. Lots of baby super red plecos in here. So this bigger one here that's on the glass, it's right in front of that snail. He was born on October 25th. And then all these guys here are from December 10th. And we got another group of super red plecos in here. Some babies. Closer up of the, and I can't see my displays, so I'm not sure how this is looking. The green dragon bushy nose plecos, along with what I'm calling pastel guppies. And actually, yeah, that's right. I was going to show you guys a top-down look. I can't see the screen, so I'm not sure how this is showing up. Turn on the feeder, get some food in there. So yeah, these female guppies have a lot more color, especially when you look down on them. Again, if it's not showing up too well, I'm at the wrong angle, I just can't see my display on my screen there from this angle. Then, I think we can do, since we have this off, we got baby gold ocellatus shell dwellers in here. Here comes mama. Very nasty fish. The fangs on these things. These guys got, they will actually draw blood. This little tiny fish, she's only like 1.5 inches, and she'll actually draw blood. Very defensive of her fish. They were free swimming on January 21st. Okay. So I guess that's probably going to be it. Really appreciate everybody that's came in and chatted with us here. Mike and Leah, thanks for your patience when you're trying to get everything all set up and running. But at least for next time, I have a better idea now. I need to get either a better microphone or just keep using this one and not the other one. And obviously a better time of the day, because right now I'm not getting, we only had, what was it, the 3 people we had at one point? Something like that. Just a little late on Easter Sunday, I think. I think everybody at this point is just chilling or whatever. Alright, have a good night, Mike. Thanks again for everybody for chiming in. Take care.